Hello, I'm MJ with Real Life Fit, and I have Jessica with me here.
Hi.
She has been a client of mine for 2 years now. 2018 is when we first met, and I thought it would be really cool to do a little talk with Jessica because I think a lot of people can relate to what she's going through day to day. She's a mom and busy, she works, and it's hard to fit in a lot of stuff. We're talking about self-care, and exercise is definitely part of that. So we'll talk specifically on exercise, but also some other things that we come across in the process of getting healthy. So like I said, in 2018 we met through a gym, and she worked with me for a full year. The goal then was to run, and I said, you need to start with exercise, like strength training right now. And so she did, and she trusted me, and it was so much fun. We had an awesome group for a year. And then things happened, and then she stepped out for a little while, but she's back again. So it's really exciting. I love my people so much, so it's great whenever I get to hang out with them more, because these are my friends, whether they like it or not, right?
We love you.
So Jessica's going to share her story, and then we'll go through some goal setting and things like that, so you can see how the process works. So the first part will be more of like sharing the story, and then I already know a lot about her, so it's not going to be too much of a discovery session necessarily, but more of like a strategic planning session. So this is something that you can do with me if you are confused about where you are now and where you're trying to go and how to set goals. And that's totally free for you, so you stick around and see all the things you can get at the end, and you could be talking with me like Jessica is, because we're cool.
Yeah.
Right? All right, so 2018, where was your head?
So I just had my third child, and I was tired, I was overweight, I had a lot of anxiety, and I knew I just had to get back into the fitness routine. It's not something that's new to me. I ran in high school, I stayed pretty active, and then children came, marriage, normal. I work full time, so it was really hard for me to find time other than in the evening when I should be spending time with my kids. But I was just really tired of the way I was feeling, so I decided to join the gym, and I met Mandy. And like she said, at first I was all about running, and she's like, no, just come to my group. Strength training will get your running better. So I started, and I felt amazing. It really helped my anxiety. I got more confident in myself. I couldn't believe the progress that I made so quickly, and with strength training, I feel like you're seeing your progress a lot more than when you're just doing like cardio.
Yeah, what kind of progress?
Like you're increasing in your weights, you're increasing your reps, how it gets easier. All your normal everyday movements also feel better when you're doing strength training.
Right. A lot of people set the goal of losing weight, and I really try to show them that other things happen before the weight loss, because you didn't necessarily lose a ton of weight to start.
We did a lot of progress photos each month, and whereas I wasn't losing any weight, I noticed the difference when we took our photos. I was losing inches and just looking more fit and healthy, even though the scale wasn't moving at all.
Right. Yeah, so it's discouraging if you only had the goal of weight loss.
Exactly.
And I know in that group, when I started, I wanted to change it. So I didn't let anyone make the goal of weight loss.
Nope.
It could be there as like, that might be something that happens. But I really encouraged everyone to make a goal of, how many pull-ups can you do or something like that. And magically, everyone lost weight if the weight needed to come off. Some were tiny already, so they weren't going to lose weight, but, got stronger. So that was really awesome to see. And just seeing the happiness, like she said, every time she come in, and we had a lot of good friends in there, so it wasn't like you were just going to the gym alone.
Yep.
And
everybody cheers each other on, and we kind of do little competitions, and
it's a
really
lot
get
of fun.
into it.
So during that, so you started out feeling anxious, and you were just kind of fed up with where you were.
Yeah.
And even taking away time from your children, that was tough to decide to do.
It was. Yeah, it was hard, but I knew it. I felt like I was becoming a better mom when I had the chance to have an out. So my gym time, it was an hour, 4 days a week, and it was my time that I could go and release some of the stress that I had. And then I noticed that, being more active made me want to do more active things on the weekend instead of like dreading going to work on Monday. We would be out at the park and let's do this. And it just made my energy, gave me more energy to do more things with my family. So
that's so awesome. So you think I'm taking an hour, a little bit more maybe if you're considering, well, you took the kids to the gym, so the travel time
sometimes.
was, So, but you're losing an hour to 2 of time right there with them. But even when you got home from the gym, I know you said recently too.
It gives you so much more energy.
More energy to hang out.
When I wasn't going to the gym, I would come home from work and make dinner and then veg out on the couch for the rest of the evening.
Yeah.
So I feel like when I go to the gym, I'm home and then we have dinner. I get to clean up the kitchen, and then I find myself sweeping the living room, and I'm doing this and organizing this, and my husband's like, "It's 9 o'clock at night. Come lay down."
Yeah.
So it definitely gives you a boost of energy.
Awesome. So the time that you're losing, you gain back whenever you do have the time with your children, and you feel a lot healthier.
Yep.
Maybe not as mean. You're not mean mommy or whatever they might call you.
Short fuse.
Short fuse. There you go. Yeah. So you're spending more quality time together.
Yep, for sure.
So for that full year, what was it that kept you coming into the gym? Because it was we did a whole
year.
4 cycles of it.
I think it was a lot of the people, just being around the people, and then, you would put us in the groups a lot where we had to take our turns, and we were all around the same, you would pair us with the same type of people with the same type of strength, and just knowing that, if I don't go today, that my partner's not going to have someone with me. So that really helped, and like I said, we motivated each other and we pushed each other to do better, and I really found that helped me a lot.
Right. So
instead of doing it on my own.
Yeah, on your own. And this is another thing, I'll probably make a video on my own later about, you have so much information on the internet. You have a gym you can go into, and you have all the resources available, but we don't do it for whatever reason. I even don't. I actually took Bruce's personal training session and made him work out with me today. So we just extended the time because I wasn't going to work out by myself. So it was more of the accountability of creating good friendships and having someone to count on being there. And it's nice when you can do that in person. I'm also creating that online. So she's also in an online group with me too. So we've got the 2 thing going right now. So that is something really important, is having someone to support you. And I know your husband was very supportive too of you being there, because he either had the kids or made dinner, whatever it was he did while you were working out. Sometimes he came to the gym too.
He did.
And he's awesome. Sometimes. I love him. He's so good at it too. He's so strong. Okay, so we did the full year, and then what happened?
And then we bought a house. So we got into doing renovations with the house and just very busy. And then, obviously that takes funds out of your bank account as well. So
the money was getting a little scary.
It was time, and then just trying to get my house in order, because it was pretty chaotic. And then I just fell out of the groove.
And you went on vacation.
We went on vacation. Yep, we were gone. We went to Mexico, and then from there it was like a rolling spiral back to where I started almost.
Yeah.
So
what feelings?
Back to square one again. I noticed my anxiety levels were high again. I was more tired. Just feeling down on myself, really hard on myself, and regretting quitting, and then feeling like now I'm going to have to start all over again. So what's another week that I don't go to the gym? So basically it was just self-hate, sort of.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And I was talking with her through this time, and it's sad to see that happen, because my business is called Real Life Fit, because this is real life. This stuff happens, and it's okay. Sometimes you take a break, totally fine. We try to lessen the amount of time to take the break, but it happens, so we have to plan for it. Going into self-hate, sometimes it's harder when you do get into a really good routine and then you don't keep it up. It's worse than when you were doing nothing at all. So that's difficult, and we definitely missed her here, and we were wanting her back the whole time. But so what kept you from coming back?
I guess just starting, my kids are getting older, and now they're at an age where they know when I'm leaving, and then they start to whine, and Mom, where are you going? And so then I started feeling guilty again about having my own time to myself. And then I noticed I'm back again with short fuse and just give me a minute, and having a lot of that again, that I'm like, I have to do something about myself mentally to have an out again.
Right. So kids, for sure, that's a big thing. I know.
A big thing,
you want to take care of yourself, but it's like a weird reverse thing, because you
feel
think
guilty.
And they probably don't really understand the difference of happy mom and not happy mom. Like, it's just you being there, and they can tell, like, is she happy or not, but probably doesn't relate to she went to the gym, she's going to be happy now. It probably doesn't process, I would imagine. So that's hard to do. Also, the money situation. Okay, so we had money was a thing, and which exercise can be free. But again, if it's on your own, we aren't doing it.
It's so easy to just say, I'll do it tomorrow.
Right, it's always tomorrow, which I also talk about in the all or nothing thinking. So money, time with kids, just the motivation, or also you were feeling like, when I go back, it's going to be worse than when I started even, right?
Like being embarrassed almost of like coming back and having put on, I think 25, 28 pounds for that whole year, which is a lot of weight. Almost everything that I had lost. And then having to see everyone again, ooh, she's back to where she started. So again, I'm like mean on myself, even though no one's gonna treat me like that.
Right.
So
we're the hardest on ourselves,
exactly.
right? And some people might have thoughts like that, but it's like they're not even worth our time or thinking about, because who cares about that? No, all of us were like super excited for her to come back.
Yeah, everybody everyone hugged me and was so happy to see me again, so it made me feel like I never left.
Yeah, it's weird. It feels like you have been around. Like, you didn't miss anything, did you? So what was it that made you finally get back into it again, like pushed you over all those obstacles?
Well, I started trying to do things on my own. So I started, trying to run, and I got an elliptical for myself at the house, because I thought, okay, if I have something in my garage, maybe that will give me the motivation to do something at home. And then I just realized that I did it for 3 days, and then I was like, meh, I'll do it tomorrow. And then I didn't have that, group again pushing me to do things. So I'm like, the only way I'm going to get back into it is just go back to the gym.
Right. So that's the knowing that you need the accountability. What about the money part then? So if money was the thing keeping you from it, how did we overcome that? She sold
I got
some
my
organs.
tax return.
Tax return?
Yeah,
okay.
I did.
Being resourceful.
We got our tax money back, so that helped, obviously. And then I just told my husband, I'm like, we're just gonna have to budget for something, because the way I look at it is, if I do the couple sessions the week, I can kind of spread it out a little bit more, and at least it's doing something more than what I was doing the last couple months.
Right. So the time that you weren't spending money on the gym necessarily, do you feel like it was worth saving the money, or do you think there was something that could have happened to get money during that time? Like, that's something I know is a big obstacle for people, is just finances. So thinking about how much you get for the money versus how you were feeling.
Well, I know, like, when you start a workout routine, you tend to want to eat better. And I know that when I wasn't doing the gym, we were eating out a lot more.
Okay.
So my money really wasn't getting saved anywhere, because we were, getting pizza takeout and Chinese takeout and McDonald's, which is something that I didn't touch for years. And then I found myself back in there again, and it's like it really wasn't doing anything for me.
Yeah, so the money was still going out, just not for the healthy things.
Pretty much.
And we don't think about that, because it's it's an extra $5 for dinner tonight for something delicious.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's not helping us to get that goal. So it's like, once you're out, it's the all or nothing thinking somewhat too. You're out of the mindset of like, this is my routine, and now everything's just kind of going wild.
Yep.
So it's important to know, like, if money is a factor, and like I said, you can find free things, that isn't necessarily a thing to keep you from exercising. But think of how you can budget. Like you said, we got to get resourceful. If you can figure out just a little bit here and there. But the accountability piece, I think, is really, really important.
Oh, yeah.
At least to start out.
For sure.
I know some people can get up and do 5 a.m. on their own. My boyfriend's doing that. And he's just a very unique person. Right. That takes a unique person to get up and do something on their own.
Yep.
So finding a group is going to be very important. And so now that you're back into it, how are you feeling now?
I definitely notice my attitude is better.
This is like a month into it now,
Yeah,
right? We've been
almost.
about a month back.
Yep. And it's funny because like the first week that I came back to the gym, my kids, I don't know if it's because my attitude and I felt better, but I feel like they were happier almost. It's weird.
Yeah.
And I even said something to my husband. I'm like, my oldest is in a great mood. This
Yeah.
is weird.
It's a reflection, right?
I don't know if it's just because, we're trying to get back into the active family and doing more things on the weekend together that obviously they enjoy, but I feel like I'm getting back into that groove again. And
Yeah. That's awesome. So we've learned we're taking the time out. You're coming here 2 to 3 times a week, so it's an hour, and she's doing this after a workout, so I'm really appreciative.
With my makeup smeared all over my face.
She looks great still. She has the best eyeliner, so she
Not
should
right
make
now.
a YouTube video on that. So you're taking the time away, but you've noticed that the time together has really improved. So
And my husband, actually, it's funny because now that I'm going to the gym again, he's doing little things at home with the kids while I'm gone, besides, dinner and the normal things that he has to do. But I came home the night before when my last workout, and I said, "What did you guys do?" "Oh, I worked out with Gabby for 5 minutes. We did sit-ups or whatever in the garage." And I'm like, "Oh, that's kind of cool."
Look,
So,
she's like the hero. She's starting things. She's starting a movement in the house.
yeah.
So it's possible that just one little move creates a snowball effect, and it can go, everyone's moving in a nice direction where everyone's happier, or boom, down the other way.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. And she's, like I said, we came up with this plan of 2 times a week in here, when before it was 4 days a week at the gym.
Yeah.
Okay. So we were talking over Messenger on Facebook, and she's like, "Okay, well, I have this elliptical." I'm like, "Awesome." And I'm trying to like be accountable too. And still it's like, it's hard whenever you're not really totally involved. But she was like, at first, remember what you wanted to do at first, how many days a week you wanted to exercise? What'd you say?
I think it was like 5.
5 days a week. She's like, if I can get into this, and this is when she was doing nothing at all.
Yes.
She's
Jumping
like,
right back in.
5 days a week.
Square,
I'm
5
going
days.
to run on Monday and Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday. Like, she had this whole plan. And I said, all right, can we just start a little bit slower into it? And she did awesome. Like, she did some, but then again, boom, fell back and didn't do it for a couple weeks, whatever. So then I was like, okay. And she's like, I need to get back into the gym. Like, how much does it cost and all this? And it's not cheap, because we're at a CrossFit gym right now, and CrossFit's not the least expensive thing to do. But also I do smaller group personal training things, and that just costs a little bit more because you're not just walking into a gym on your own. So we're like, what can we do to figure this out? Money-wise, time-wise, get all your workouts in. So we decided to do 2 days a week at the gym, because we have a punch card, so you can spread that out over time. And then what else are you doing on your own?
Elliptical one day, and then if I can, so it's been either elliptical and a run, or I'm getting one or the other. So it's about 3 days a week that I'm doing something active.
3 days a week. When 5 was the first plan, let's
Yeah.
back it up and let's get 3 days in. And you said you're already feeling all these great things from 3 days.
Yeah.
So that's about 3 to 5 hours a week, or maybe even less. Your run isn't an hour
No,
necessarily.
it's about half an hour, so 40 minutes.
So about 3 hours a week that she's taking away, or she's not spending immediate face-to-face time with children.
Yep.
But she's already feeling so much better, mentally, physically.
Yep.
She came in, she thought she wasn't going to be able to do the workouts, but
Yeah.
she's been doing them, so that's been great. And
To add to that, Mandy, I just want to say that Mandy's really good about modifying things. So if you come in and you're sore one day, try it this way, or if you can't do this instead. So I think that also helps you, instead of when you're working out by yourself, you might just totally kick that part of the workout out.
right, yeah. Yeah, because if you're like, well, I can't do push-ups, I can't do real push-ups,
Yep.
this is another tangent I can get on, but you can do a push-up of some sort and do it, and yeah, tons of modifications. You can always ask me if there's something you're trying to do and aren't able to do it exactly that way yet. So awesome. So she's doing 2 in the gym, 1 at home, and that is plenty for right now.
Yeah.
5 days a week, not totally necessary. We're making moves already, and that's great. What else did we talk about when setting goals? It's pretty much, let's figure out the money part of it, and then figure out the time part of it.
Yep. And then now eventually we have to take into consideration the food.
The food, yeah. So one thing at a time, or whatever you can handle, because before it was like, on Monday, I'm gonna start exercising 5 days a week. I'm only gonna eat 3 pieces of lettuce. You know, it starts to get crazy, and it's just not possible to keep that up unless you're that very unique person who I'm gonna say is 1% of the population. I don't know, because I like to make up numbers. But, you know, just a little bit at a time. And like she said, as she's working out, it's not so much that she wants to stop by McDonald's on the way home. It's not that appealing anymore.
Exactly.
So it just one little thing at a time. Do you have any advice for someone thinking back to you back in like November? So what would you tell yourself back in November?
November of when
Last
I wasn't
year.
coming
Yeah.
anymore? Don't give up.
Don't give up.
Really, it's not worth it to completely let it go all out the window.
Okay.
I wouldn't have quit entirely if I could look back on it.
Okay.
So.
What could you have done? So you got the house.
I probably would have maybe marked it down to 1 day a week, or do what I'm doing now 2 days a week instead of the 4 that I was doing before. I mean, I think I could have figured something out to make it work, and I wish I would have.
Yeah. So just figure out what makes sense for you, money, time, energy, whatever you're capable of, and make that work. If you need help, we talked through all this on Facebook Messenger.
Yep.
We can get on the phone and have a phone call. You can talk to me however you need to, and we can figure out what makes sense for you, even if you're not in the area, because there's something around you, or you can do things at home. If she wanted to do exercises at home in a group, we could make that happen. Like, plenty of options to do all of these things. So if you're struggling, just start doing something.
Don't be embarrassed.
Don't be embarrassed. Most people are out here to support you. Whatever you think in your head is the worst possible thing, and everyone else is wanting to support you. And if not, then come on and join the Real Life Fit Tribe, because we are here to support you. And we just want everyone to be happy. This is real life. We make things happen.
Yep.
I think that's about it that I wanted to cover today. So if you like this, you like hearing from people that I'm working with, and Jessica's story I think is very relatable, again, because having children, working all the time, being very stressed, and trying to fit it in still, and she's doing it. So here's a real life example, not someone who's a fitness professional, this is my job only, and I'm telling you should exercise. She's making it happen here. Plenty of other people here are as well.
Yep.
So if you like this, thumbs up, follow. I have a group going on right now called Real Life Fit Tribe, and you can join that group and get lots more videos like this, lots more info, and call me, set up a session. We can go over whatever it is you're struggling with. We want you to feel better. We want you to get healthy and make everyone happy around you too, because self-care takes care of everyone else.
Yep. For
Awesome.
Sure.
Thanks for sticking around and watching this video. If you like it, let me know. I'll do more. See you next time.